from the Gator Framework Studio in Music City. It's the Dining at Disney podcast.
Another thing about good food, it brings folks together, all walks of life.
You'll discover all the best restaurants and food as you hungrily explore the Disney parks.
Let's do this thing!
The Dining at Disney podcast.
Welcome to the Dining at Disney podcast. I am Kristen, Disney park foodie, enthusiast, and travel expert.
And I'm Aljon Go, content creator, musician, lifelong Disney, Star Wars, and Marvel fan, big fan of Disney food, and welcome to the show. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Click that notification bell every time we post new content, especially on our brand new YouTube channel. We do appreciate it. Kristen, we have an awesome guest here.
Yes, we do. We have Ashley Kraft. She's the author of many of the unofficial Disney park cookbooks, and they are amazing. If you haven't checked them out yet, it's definitely a must do if you love Disney food like we do.
Welcome to the show, Ashley.
Thank you so much for having me.
Crowd goes wild.
So, Ashley, do you want to start off by telling everybody a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So as you said, I've written the Unofficial Disney Parks Cookbook series. There are 5 books out in the series now. The latest one, the Unofficial Disney Parks Holidays Cookbook, just came out a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I have just always been a lifelong Disney fan. I grew up in Anaheim Hills and lived close to Disneyland, and we used to go all the time when I was a child. And in college, I did 2 internships at Walt Disney World, so I got really familiar with the East Coast side of things, and just continued to foster my love of Disney throughout adulthood until I decided I wanted to create this book, which was the original Unofficial Disney Parks Cookbook that basically encompassed a lot of the iconic snacks and treats that they sell at the parks. And that book was an instant bestseller and continued to sell out. And so I knew that was something that people wanted and were looking for. So I've just been able to continue to write these books, and so excited to bring them to everybody's homes.
Yes.
How did you get into writing the books to begin with?
I literally am just a fan, and I started blogging in 2017, and my blog had a lot of different Disney stuff on it. Like I just felt like I had a lot of Disney knowledge that I wanted to share, and so I had that platform as a place to share it. But it was really the copycat recipes that people loved and that I got a lot of positive feedback on. So I kept doing more of that. And then I had the thought, well, I wonder if it would be possible to traditionally publish a book like this. So I went out on my own to try and get a literary agent. That's how you work with publishers, and found one that was willing to work with me, thought it was a good idea. And then we shopped around lots of publishers, and that took, 9 months to talk to publishers, and found a fit that wanted to work with us, and started writing. So it's been a great journey. That was about 4.5 years ago.
Wow.
That's awesome. It's great that you can find the stuff that you're passionate about and kind of do your thing and make it a reality.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Once you dream it, you can do it, right?
I have that engraved on my mug.
There you go. We love the holidays here at the show, the magic of the parks, and of course the wonder of the holiday season. What is your favorite holiday to celebrate at the Disney parks?
Yeah, my favorite holiday period is Halloween, and Disney does Halloween better than anyone else. And I love spending Halloween at the parks. I think the best place to celebrate is Oogie Boogie Bash at Disney's California Adventure. They do such a good job putting on an incredible evening that is just full of fun. And I just feel like, it flies by. Like, no, it's like Cinderella's pumpkin. Like, oh no, I got to get everything done. It's such a short amount of time. It's so much fun packed into the night. And and I love it. Have you guys gotten to go to that yet?
We haven't done Oogie Boogie since we're on the East Coast.
Yeah.
We have done several times Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Yeah. And that one
But
is
oh
pretty
yeah,
cool.
it is so much fun.
I think my favorite difference is that they have the Villains Grove at Oogie Boogie, which is like a lights and sound walkthrough that they do in the Redwood Challenge Trail. And
Yeah.
it's just like unlike anything I'd seen before. Like it's really like this fully immersive, not scary, but kind of almost unsettling. Like they use fog effects and lots of lights and sounds. And I just think that was like a really cool touch that was thinking outside of the box. And I wish that they had something like that at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
It's fun.
Since holiday fun is part of the book, Halloween is your favorite. Is that your favorite time to like bring out some of these stuff you like to cook?
Yeah, well, I think that Halloween is really special because I do think that Christmas and Thanksgiving often are sort of monopolized by spending time with one's family, which is totally great. Like, I'm not saying that anything disparaging about that. That's awesome. Like, to get to spend time with your family for Thanksgiving and Christmas. But typically, Halloween is not a holiday that you would travel to go to visit with your parents or whatever. So, because of that, for me at least, it sets up a time that I really shine as a host, and I love having friends over for Halloween parties every year. That's kind of my thing. I always host Halloween parties, and I do love finding recipes from the book. I mean, now it's a book, but previously when I was recipe testing and doing things from the parks, that it is really great to find super like iconically poppy Halloween stylized food items. And so I think that if you're looking for that kind of thing for a party or a get together, that this is a great resource for that.
I too love Halloween. I think it's just such a fun holiday. Now, how'd you get into writing the Disney recipes?
I've just been like, I'm always been a food lover. When I grew up in California, we used to visit the parks so frequently that we didn't usually buy the food at Disney. We always called ourselves a sandwiches in the Jansport family because that was how we were. Like, it was pinching pennies, and we were always just bringing our own snacks in, or we were there for such a short amount of time that you didn't eat there. And I think that I always saw people like eating the food at Disney, and that was something that I wanted to be a part of, like that I wished that I could have. And as an adult, I kind of have now taken that like to the nth degree, in that we eat everything. Like, you know, I'm researching, I'm always trying everything. So I think that like passion and that fascination with the food at Disney really pushed me towards wanting to find out more about how the food is made, how I can recreate that in my own kitchen.
So do you have culinary degree then?
I don't. No.
You don't. Okay.
No. Just home taught. If you do things enough times, then you get pretty good at it.
Yes.
Foodie plus.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, which is great. You know what I love about the book? First of all, there are a couple things I love about the book. I know I'm breaking script here. First of all, the book is well crafted. I have another podcast called Skull Rock Podcast with Dave Bossert, former director of special projects for Disney. He's an author, and the book it's a nice hardback book. The pages and the paper stock is really nice, and the colors are very vibrant, obviously to help sell the different recipes and everything. So in terms of book quality, A plus. I love the book, and we've seen the book before, but it's different when you shop for it online versus going to a bookstore and actually holding the book, which is substantial. So I think there's a lot of TLC that you all put, you and your publisher put into the book.
Yeah, I do appreciate you saying that, because you're right. Most of my sales do come from online retailers, and I think that people don't get a feel for how high quality is. It's published by Simon and Schuster, which is, you know, one of the biggest publishers in the world, and it really does. It has embossed letters on the front. Everything is you know, made to the best. This is the highest quality. So thank you for pointing that out.
It's great. The other thing I will also say, which is awesome, is that you go through how Disney celebrates the holidays and highlight the individual holidays and what they do as an overview, which is really nice because as a Disney fan, we, especially annual pass holders like Kristen and I were pre-pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
right? Before children. It was great to read it and hear all these things because your typical family that may be interested into getting into Disney food or bringing that magic home, as you state in your book, that they don't necessarily know all these different things. As I say, the normies, right?
Yeah, right.
If people are just listening to Dining at Disney now and they're just tuning in, we love the holidays. We love all the times at the Disney parks, both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. But you don't, typical families don't get that opportunity, and maybe they fall in love with that particular holiday because it just happened to coincide with their Disney vacation. Great.
Mm-hmm.
How do I capture that? And you get this book, and it's like, bam, it's right there. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I did try to do a lot of research and put a lot of love and care and my own personality into it, and experiencing all of those myself as you said, somebody who visits a lot and annual pass holder, somebody who's very familiar with the parks, getting to glean all that information myself and to be able to share those stories with people, I think has been such a great outlet for me, and I'm glad that other people can benefit from it.
So, Aljon, you had mentioned how much you liked that it highlighted all the different holidays and how Disney celebrates it. But one of the things that I think is great that's in here, and especially for people who may not be big, cooks or bakers, is the essentials that you put into the book. I thought this was very cool. It was like the cook's essentials, and just to kind of show people a little bit about what I'm talking about. So that's just some of them. But I thought that was great how you put all those things in there that you think you need, like, really to have like a good setup for your kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
for cooking and baking. So I thought that was great. Of those, if somebody said they had to pick could only pick 5 of those things, what 5 would you pick?
As like essential equipment for your kitchen.
Essential, yeah. That, like, you can't live without these 5 things that are in there.
Okay.
I know it's hard.
Yeah, okay. So things that I have, like, every kitchen appliance. I seriously have every single one, I swear to you. So, but there are some that collect dust and don't come out very often. So I do think this is a good question because there are some that I use frequently and there are some that I never pull out. So I would say my most frequent kitchen tools would be a Mickey cookie cutter, because there are a lot of these recipes that will have Mickey shapes in them, even if you're not expecting it. Like a bunny butt is shaped like a Mickey. So, it's always great to have a Mickey cookie cutter on hand. Secondly, I would say a heavy bottomed pot. I have a deep fryer, but I don't use it as often as I use a sturdy pot. I just think it's fidgety to, like, pull a deep fryer out and there take a lot of parts to clean and things. But if you just have a pot that has a nice thick bottom, that's the best thing you can do for frying foods. And there's a lot of fried foods at Disney. So I would say invest in a nice thick bottomed pot. Third, I would say probably an instant pot, like an instant pressure cooker. That's really good for cooking things on the fly. Usually, if it's a slow cooker recipe or a pressure cooker recipe, or like other things in between, like a steam, all that can be done in an instant pot. So I do think that that's a really good tool. Trying to think. A stand mixer that really, like, saves your hands if you
Yes.
never need anything by hand. I always use my dough hook. I think it's great to have a stand mixer. Even if you are using an inexpensive one, it's still better to have than nothing at all. And I don't know, probably like a good piping set, like a good different tips. Especially for this book, it has a lot of different like frosting styles. And so I would say you could go on Amazon or at Walmart or something like that and buy a set of tips. And then you can use either disposable piping bags or reusable piping bags and attach the tips. And that will help you out with a lot of these recipes.
I like that question a lot.
You what?
I said I like that question a lot. That was very good.
I too love the Instant Pot because, like you said, there's so many things you can do with it, and I feel it's like especially great when you have a family and you can pull something. Like I like to like prep stuff and then freeze it, pull it out of the freezer, throw it in there, and you've got dinner.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So what is your process then when it comes to creating the recipes for the book?
So I have, like I said, this is my 5th Disney book. So I've kind of gotten my process down to a science by this point. But so I will start with a topic. Like I will contract with the publisher to write on a certain topic. So I would have signed a contract for this holidays book a couple of years ago. So then from that, I want to determine a table of contents. So typically my books have 100 recipes. That's usually around the number that I'm aiming for. And then we like to spread those recipes out across the parks as equally as possible. So that's sort of my framework that I'm working within. Once I have that framework, then I start by thinking about what are the most iconic recipes that come to mind that I think of right off the bat. So I like fill those into the slots. From there, I'm going to start doing research. So I will usually do social media research, internet research. I'm going to see what people are Instagramming about, what people are talking about, what are the hottest items that have been at the most recent holiday festivals. So I take all that information into consideration, and then I will go to the parks. For this book, I had to visit. I think I was actively researching for it for about 2 years. So I was able to visit all the holidays across on both coasts. So it was like a long process. Obviously super fun, can't complain about that. But I go and I actually try the recipes and then also see if those are the final recipes. So I will go to the locations and ask the cast members, what are the most popular recipes that you sell here? Do you have any stories about these recipes? Is there anything that I should know? Like, does this sell out every day? Does nobody eat it? Like, tell me about it. Like, is this just look good and it doesn't actually taste good? Like, I want all the information about it. And then obviously I try the food myself. I bring people with me as often as I can and have them try the food. And we then take notes on the different flavor profiles, what kind of ingredients we think is in it, take lots of pictures so that I have angles of it, even better if I have video. So then I compile all of that into folders on my computer so that I have it ready when I go to test those items at home. So from there, when I recipe test at home, I try to do as many iterations of one recipe as possible at once so that I don't have to waste food or time. So if I'm trying to make a batch of cupcakes, I would do, like a base cupcake and then maybe have a different filling in different cupcakes and then a different frosting across those cupcakes. So one batch of cupcakes might actually represent 6 different iterations of the recipe. So I try and do all of that at once to be more streamlined. And then from there, I take shorthand notes about that and then go to the computer and type it into the instructions. And my publisher has me put things in code. So I actually have to code all the recipes so that it's able to transfer into the format when it's turned into the book. And they also have author guidelines that it's written in a certain voice. So I have to follow all of those things and go through and write the recipes. So I add an introduction that kind of gives a blip about the food item or a story about it or whatever, and then ingredients and the instructions. So that's the process.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Now you know exactly how the sausage is made.
Yeah. Now I'm sure you all can go out and do it yourselves.
That's why we
It's a lot. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of work, Kristen, go ahead.
No, that's okay.
No, I was gonna say, what's the most difficult and what's the most easiest recipe you think you can tackle in the holiday book?
So there's lots of drink recipes, and I think drinks are so easy to make. That's one of the reasons why I one of the books I have is the Disney drinks book, and I think it's so fun because all the recipes are just insanely accessible. There's nothing in there that you can't just whip up, any minute. So there are several drinks in here that I think are super fun and very impactful. So if you're trying to make something for a holiday but have little time or energy, my son who's 11 does a lot of the mocktail mixing in the house. We went on the Star Cruiser, the Galactic Star Cruiser, and his favorite part of the whole experience was just hanging out in the Sublight Lounge. He just thought that was so fun because he's never been to a bar before. He's never been to a lounge. He's never stayed out late. So like it was all these things compounded in one. He's like, I'm hanging out until midnight in this bar or whatever. And he went right home from that experience and was like, I'm going to make my own mocktail bar. And he created his own menu of Star Wars inspired drinks that he crafted himself. He's 11. So I was like,
That's
really
awesome.
impressed. And I thought, yeah, he's going places, but I love seeing his creativity in the kitchen too.
That is amazing. How cool is it to, have your son be inspired? I'm sure inspired by you and what you do because you're doing it at home.
Yeah.
You're probably inviting the kids to cook with you and whatnot, make it a family affair. Go to the parks, experience that, and then have him be so inspired to do what you do in your own home.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Pretty fun.
Yeah. So do they get to help you when you're making, or especially the baking? I mean, do they like to come into the kitchen and help you with that stuff, or?
Yeah, I involve the kids as much as I can. So I have 3 kids. I have an 11-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 7-year-old. So they vary in degrees of helpfulness, probably exactly in that order. But I do really love it when they want to be involved, and I think it's really fun. And I do think a lot of these recipes can be done by children, especially if their parent is with them. And I hope kids do feel like they can make these recipes.
Are there any recipes that have a special memory tied to them for you that they're like, it's kind of extra special?
So one thing that comes to mind, so I went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party last year, and they had the sweet corn almond cake that is like, there's a photo of it in the book, but it's like a cake that's shaped like a corn. And it was super popular. It was like all over Instagram, and I was really excited to get it. And I went there and it was already sold out. And it was so sad to me that I couldn't get it. And I tried back several times that night, and they said like, no, once we're out, we don't have any more. And, you only get one shot. You can't go the next day because it's a ticketed event. So yeah, I was really disappointed about that. But through the magic of cooking, you're able to create these recipes at home. And for this particular recipe, since I didn't taste it myself, I just did a lot of research and watching other people eating it, people talking about it, reading like what's written on the recipe and written on the sign or whatever. And I think that is kind of, like you said, the book embodies not only people who go to Disney and eat the food there and love it, but it's for also people who didn't have it. So it goes on both sides. Like it's both having a memory or making a new one. Make a drink. It'll be fun every time. I think that the most complicated ones in here are just ones that have a lot of elements, like that have different pieces that you have to put together. So, for instance, if you're looking at like,
I have something in mind. I got to see if it's in here. I didn't think to look for it.
Trying to find a picture so I can show an example. So for instance, like this reindeer moose, this is not like hard to make, but it is going to take you some time because it does have a lot of different pieces that you're putting together here. So you're making a cookie and then a chocolate mousse and then a dark chocolate glaze and then chocolate antlers, and then you put the whole thing together. So, if you're not dedicated to this, you might get tired of it, but it's not hard. It's just takes time.
The one that came to my mind, because I've made this before, the bouche
The Yule
Noel.
log. Yeah, absolutely. That is in the same category, I would say.
Yes.
That it's a lot to take in, really. And this is always the advice I give, though, is just do as much as you want. I have to make the recipes as close to Disney as possible. You don't. So if you just want to make the Yule log like as a straight cake pan, like cake, and then just put the frosting on the top, it'll taste the same. You don't have to make it look like that. So I just hope everybody is substituting and deleting as many of these elements as they don't have the bandwidth for. I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally happy with that. I wanted to give everybody the option to make it as plussed as Disney does, but you can minus it. That's totally fine.
Yes, I did the full on maple bouche Noel, and that was very time consuming.
Very time consuming, yes.
But it was delicious, so it was worth it.
Yeah, that's the rub, right?
Well, we too are fans of the Disney drinks, and I have to say, when you look through the book, it's so enticing because whoever did your food and drink photography was spot on. So colorful and just inviting. I just wanted to drink that Doom Buggy. Just jumps right off the page.
Yeah, it's true.
We love the Haunted Mansion anyway, but have a Haunted Mansion inspired drink, yeah, sign me up.
Yes. I love my photographer. They do a really good job. The like staging of the sets are really great. I love it.
Yeah. So when they take photos and everything, you're probably not physically there when they do it. They probably prepare it and then do it all. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's so pro. I love all that.
Yeah. So it's awesome because I still get to be part of the whole process. So they send me, they do like a mood board basically for each recipe. And I am part of all of this. So I will say, that's not the right pattern, or that color should be tweaked or whatever. So you go through and just check to make sure that they are getting the vibe, because they don't know Disney. Like, they know food, but they don't know Disney. So I'm sending them reference photos. I'm sending them angles that I think is the right look. And then, of course, we go back and forth on the final photos and everything. So it's such a cool process to see come to life.
Well, because you went through all the recipes yourself and then typed in everything, I'm sure, as you're quote unquote test kitchening everything, all the things, you probably have reference photos just of the stuff you made.
Definitely.
So that,
yeah.
Like, yeah, the 7-layer cake is supposed to look like this. And
right.
It's,
yeah.
Instead of looking all weird like the way I would make it.
Yeah.
I've tried that before, gang, and I tell you, it ain't pretty. 3 instead of 7.
As long as it tastes good, right?
Yeah, sure. That's what I tell myself. And then the kids have a different take on it.
You are
They're
not the cook in the house.
not. I'm like, I'm simply ready out of the box kind of person,
That's fair.
So would you say that you have the most fun cooking, baking, or bartending?
That's tough. Probably cooking. I'm more of a savory gal myself. But it's hard though, because my kids really like the baking. Whenever they see me taking out the mixer and stuff, they're like just circling like sharks. So it's really rewarding to make the treats and everything, because they super love it. But funny enough,
do you think people who aren't big Disney fans will enjoy this book as much as those who are big Disney fans?
I think this book, yes. I think the other books, maybe not, but because they might not understand like what's important about any of those dishes. But this one really is so heavily focused on the holidays. And so if you're somebody who likes to host, if you're somebody who likes to make fun treats for the holidays, this is a great book, whether you're Disney tied or not. I don't think actually there's almost nothing in here that even has any Disney elements in them at all, to be honest. So it's really just Disney tied because it's the recipes that Disney shares.
Yeah. I think it makes me think of like a party book.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like a party planning. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is always fun.
Yeah.
Do you have any books in mind for book number 6? Is there a 6 in the works?
You know, I'm not currently contracted for one, but you know, if people go out and buy this one, then maybe we can do another. I have several ideas in mind, but one thing I love and am passionate about is Disneyland Paris. I think that would be really fun for Americans, especially who can't make it over there, that they can have a taste of Disneyland Paris at home. And so maybe that's something that could happen in the future.
That would be cool. I have not been to any of the international parks. Aljon went to Tokyo, but it's, you know, you get to see when Disney puts out the foodie guide. Sometimes they'll include the other parks, and whenever they do that, I'm like, and they have the pictures. I'm like, man, why can't we have that here? You know, it looks so cool, or it sounds delicious, and yeah.
Disney has a way of catering to a lot of the locals that visit it. So the fact that the overseas parks have so many different tastes that are definitely different, but still unique and taste great, is very interesting to see how, let's say, Tokyo Disneyland makes a pizza, you know,
Right.
or the
Absolutely.
different toppings they might have on a pizza, or for example. But it's very cool nonetheless. This book is out right now, so please pick up the Unofficial Disney Parks Holidays Cookbook. From strawberry red velvet whoopie pies to Christmas wreath donuts, 100 magical dishes inspired by the events there at the park. It's there it is in full living color. Pick it up. It's a hardback. It's 100 recipes. It's yeah, there it is. Knock on paper. It's awesome. And of course, you can also follow Ashley there. We'll have a link to the book. You can pick it up Amazon and different places like that. But of course, you can also follow Ashley because this is one of 5 different books that she already has out, which are amazing.
We have 4 of the 5.
Woohoo! Nice.
The only one I'm missing, and it's actually has been on my Christmas wish list, is the drink book.
Oh, yeah, you got to get it.
They're picking that up for sure. No, it's awesome. You know, before we head out, we want to be respectful for your time, and thank you so much for joining us on this. We have to ask. We haven't done this in a while, Kristen. You know what I'm going to ask?
I know.
It's time for the lightning round. So, what's your favorite Disney character?
Anna from Frozen.
Favorite
Kristen?
park?
Animal Kingdom.
Favorite Disney movie?
Classic Aladdin.
Favorite ride?
Expedition Everest.
Favorite Disney snack?
Ooh, I would say the pulled pork nacho barbecue fries.
Favorite character meal?
Husker House.
Ooh, nice one.
I like that one too.
Favorite table service restaurant?
These are like, you know, hard questions. I would say Space 220.
Okay.
Favorite quick service?
Docking Bay 7.
Very nice. Favorite Disney drink?
Le Fou's Brew.
I always get it with an extra pump of marshmallow.
Clever.
It cuts down. It cuts down some of the apple taste a little bit.
Yeah.
Because to me, it always tastes too much like kids' apple juice.
Yeah, just apple juice. Uh-huh.
One more pump is like perfect.
Good tip. I like it.
Chris,
Favorite restaurant for families?
I would say 50s Prime
yes.
Cafe.
And this is the last question, so you're out of the hot seat. If you were to have a meal with any Disney character or personality, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
I would probably pick.
Fictional or non-fictional?
I know. I'm trying to like dig deep here. Who would I would say whoever, and I don't even know what their name is, but I would say whoever was the first culinary director of Disneyland. Whoever was the first person hired to be in charge of food at Disneyland when it opened. I would like to know what they were thinking.
Nice. I'll open that up to Kristen too.
I like your answer. That's a really good one. See, I'm going to go with one that I feel like people are going to be like, oh, that's an easy answer. I'm going to go with Walt.
Yeah. You see,
that's
what I'm talking about. Me too. No, that's good. No, those are good.
Because there was so much when Disneyland opened, the type of food and stuff that was served. Hormel chili.
Yeah.
Carnation Cafe, and so many recipes that were tied to what Walt liked.
Yep.
And
the sponsors.
Yeah, and the sponsor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
But I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah. You know what? I would, other than Walt, because Walt is amazing, I think I would also have to go with Eisner.
Because, that's a great one. That's a really good one.
Because he was involved in the Disney decade. And so I'd like to kind of pick his brain, and he worked with Paramount and coming in and into basically what had been the Disney's lost years. I'd like to kind of figure out what was going on in his mind. But hey, gang, we're wrapping up our interview. I can't believe it. We went overtime. And once again, everybody, put your hands together for Ashley Kraft. And once again, Ashley, go ahead and plug anything you want to plug and where people can follow you and pick up your books.
Yeah, I'm mostly on Instagram. My tag is Unofficial Taste Tester, so check me out on Instagram. I'm always happy to answer DMs if anybody has any questions or comments that they want to shoot my way. As you stated, my books are available pretty much everywhere. You can go to simonandschuster.com, and that has links to all the different places the book is sold. But pretty much any place that you normally like to buy a book, it'll have it. So definitely check out the newest book, the holidays book, and then the other 4 that are out.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's that part of the show where we talk about how you can save a ton with booking your next Disney Land or Disney World or Disney Cruise or Adventures by Disney trip with Kristen, our intrepid traveler. Kristen, what is the travel deal for this week?
Well, we have been doing the same Walt Disney World travel deal for a while, so I thought I'd switch it up this week, and we're going to talk about the Disney Cruise Line.
Oh, please
Especially since I am so ready to go on a cruise.
I am too. I'm ready.
So they have where you can save on select sailings. One of them is from Fort Lauderdale. It's a 4-night, very maritime Bahamian cruise. There's also one from Vancouver. It's the 10-night Hawaiian cruise that ends in Honolulu. Also select ones out of Port Canaveral. Actually, there's a handful amount of there. It's a 3-night Bahamian cruise, 3-night Halloween on the High Seas Bahamian cruise, the 3-night Very Maritime Bahamian cruise, a 4-night Bahamian cruise, 4-night Halloween, as well as the Very Maritime, and a 6-night Halloween on the High Seas. And it has 2 stops with that one in Castaway Cay. So if you love lounging and just relaxing on Castaway Cay, that one is the one for you, especially if you love Halloween as much as I do. And last but not least, you can actually sail from Honolulu on a 15-night South Pacific cruise that ends in Sydney.
Ooh.
So those are all the ones that you can save right now if you are looking to take a cruise.
That sounds great. Where can people email you so that they can save on their next Disney, Universal, cruise, or any cruise line for that matter, adventure?
They can contact me at themeparksandcruises@gmail.com.
Well, gang, that wraps up yet another show. Can you believe it?
I know.
Wow. It was awesome having a guest like Ashley here. And don't forget, we're going to have links to the show notes so you can pick up Ashley's book, the brand new installment, the Unofficial Disney Parks Holiday Cookbook, with over 100 recipes. I love it. And it's nice. It's nice to have a book like this because not only is it just well crafted, it looks great. It's a good conversation starter, and it's one where you'll probably want to get one of those like cookbook protectors for it because pages are going to get a little grubby because you're going to be busy making all kinds of gingerbread men and Mickey bars and all kinds of really cool stuff for the holidays. So.
Or they can do what I do, and I make a copy of the recipe from the book.
Yes.
And that way I don't mess up my pretty book. See, what people don't know, and this has been true for like forever, even when I was a kid, I can remember not wanting to mess up the pages of my book.
Yes.
Like, I like my books after I read them to almost look like they did when I
like it. It's awesome.
Yes. So that's always my trick is to print those out, especially if you're baking, because you get flour and sugar and stuff like everywhere. And I don't want to take a chance of messing up my pretty book. But I'm looking forward to Halloween being right around the corner, trying one of those Halloween recipes.
Nice. Well, I think that is a perfect thing and a perfect book. So once again, pick it up, link in our show notes. Once again, or just go to your local bookstore, ask for it. Ashley Craft, the author. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll put a link to her socials as well in the show notes. Anyway.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you've enjoyed today's show. And if you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, and continue to give us those 5-star reviews. As you know, we greatly appreciate it, and it helps the show's algorithm so much. Aljon, tell everyone where they can find us.
Well, you can find us on all your social media sites, the usual suspects. You can also check out the show archive as well as some articles there at diningatdisney.com. You can also be sure to check our Facebook group. It's free. It's Dining at Disney on the Facebook group. Once again, check out Dining at Disney on Facebook. That is one of the best social media sites. I say it's one of the best social media sites, but no, it's one of the best social media sites to find us.
Yes.
The podcast. All right. It's, social media is a necessary evil for us, especially since Zuck hasn't helped us out ever since we were hacked. Come on, Zuck. What's up, man? Help us out.
I don't know. Why can't he be like Tom and have his own profile that we can reach out to him and be like, hey, dude, help us?
He's too busy kung fu fighting these days. So anyway, be sure to check out our friends there, the Disney Dorks group as well. Thank you so much for your support. The Sorcerer Radio Network, all Disney music, all day long at srsounds.com. Check out all the affiliated podcasts from Sorcerer Radio. And the Sorcerer Radio Disney Fun Zone, which is also another great Facebook group where everybody's happy, fun talking about Disney. Sorcerer Radio can be found on their website at srsounds.com, as well as their awesome app. You can check me out, Aljon Go, on Instagram, ALJONGO on Instagram. You can also check out my podcast with former Disney creative director and world-renowned author Dave Bossert called Skull Rock Podcast. It's a show about all things Disney and pop culture, and we do talk about the Disney films, TV shows, what's streaming, etc. And we have awesome Imagineers and filmmakers every single week. You can find our co-host Kat at Catastrophe at CAT_ASTROPHE on Instagram. You can also check out her podcast as well, Eat the Pictures, which is a bite-sized podcast about food, film, and fun everywhere podcasts are found. Kristen?
If you want to support the show, consider donating whatever platform you choose to listen to or watch the show on. Also, you can shop our links, Amazon, Disney Store, Kingdom Stroller, Garden Grocer. Did you already say all this?
No.
Okay.
No, I was just going to say we have a new sponsor. Go ahead.
They can be found on diningatdisney.com or in the show notes below. Until next time, bon appetit.
was going to say we have a new sponsor. You didn't let me say we have a new sponsor, Riverside
Ooh, that's right. We do.
FM, which is the platform that allows us to do this cool interactive video podcasting. And yes, you too can hang out and do your own podcast and have all kinds of AI tools for your creative endeavors when you're posting content, and chop it up into great little pieces for all the social feeds, including YouTube. So check out our link for riverside.fm if you would, and help support this show. Now you can say it.
Yes. See, I have been up for over 17 hours at this point. I'm just a little tired and loopy. Until next time, bon appetit.
The information and opinions expressed in this podcast are for entertainment and informational purposes. All other trademarks mentioned are the property of their respective owners.